Fingernails, we can look at fingernails as well, and the tips of the fingers. So if you actually look at my finger, that finger is shaped slightly different than that one. See how much rounder that one is than that? It's significant, it means something. You see thumbs are really narrow here and really wide up at the top. Call a waisted. Waisted as in like your waist, as in cinched. Yeah, and it just tells us that that part of the thumb is narrowing. So that narrowing in specifically with your thumb, this is the higher consciousness, this is more the realization, and then of course the love at the bottom part. That reasoning, yes, so when it's narrower, sometimes that person has less capability to have more logic and more reasoning, yes? They may be somebody who is very connected emotionally. So a lot of times they'll make their decisions based on their emotions rather than using some reasoning. They believe that they're using logic, but because their experiences have had a negative experience, the logic is actually influenced, and that's what we call the ego. So they're not actually using logic. Yeah, they're using past experiences to justify rather than the actual logic. Just because something happens once doesn't mean it's going to happen over and over and over and over and over again. Sometimes we find it does happen, and the reason for that is because if we aren't aware that that's what's happening, in the background, we start creating a belief system that it will happen again. Because you haven't actually had awareness of what your role was, of how you participated in that eventuating and becoming the circumstance, then we keep it external of us, and then we don't have that awareness of how we participated, how we contributed to that outcome. I'm not saying we always ask for negative things to happen to us, because that is definitely not the case. If you are unaware of the negative thoughts that are happening in the background, in autopilot, then you're not aware of how you are attracting what you don't want. That's why it's important to look at the different aspects of the thumbs, the fingers, that sort of thing. Your discernment finger, it is all about your judgment or your ability to discern. The chakras are there. We start the sacral is the wrist, then we've got the base, a little bit of the identity or the solar plexus, which is the energy, the self-worth, that sort of thing. Then we move up into the heart chakra. The first digit or section of the finger is your throat chakra. Your throat chakra, this is all about your common sense. When you have a really good reservoir or puffy or big finger there, you have a lot of common sense.